You are welcome to this program. This is Mampolo's Corner here, and I am with Ms. Chinyere Udeh, the CEO, All Matters Writers, LLC, United States of America, USA. I wanted to say United Kingdom. I'm used to United Kingdom.
Everyone is not going to be from the United
All right.
Kingdom.
So you guys are joining. Thank you guys for joining on Facebook. If you have questions to fire this lady here, this beautiful lady here, fire her. Well, as you are joining this interview, you have already seen the topic. Can you just use a few minutes to share why I asked Chinyere Udeh? Probably I did not give a comprehensive introduction of her. So please tell us about yourself. My audience are listening.
Hi guys, and thank you all and Mr. Mampolo for having me. My name is Miss Chinyere Udeh, a first generation of Nigerian American. I'm equally the CEO and author of All Matters Writers LLC, self-publishing company. And at the same time, I am one of the U.S. gatekeepers. And that's just me.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Chinyere. We want to discuss a very crucial issue here that matters to migrants, not only in America. I know you are based in America, but this issue is not only attributable to the migrants in America, right? So it's also attributable to migrants in Western world. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And what are we talking about here? We are talking about the challenges migrant children face in the Western world. We are just using America as a case study, okay? But it's relative, all right? So if we want to discuss about the challenges, do you think that we have some challenges that migrant children like you who grew up in America, yeah? Do you think you people are facing challenges there or not?
Yeah, we are. We are facing the most that people wouldn't even imagine. Even most time, our parents don't even understand or know this, but we are. You know.
Why do you say your parents will not understand?
Because they were never in our shoes, depending on the ones. Like now, when I give birth, I have been on my kids' shoes to understand what it's like to be raised here. But for someone that hasn't been raised in America or in the Western world, it is hard for them to understand what we go through day in, day out as a first generational, either born here or raised here, goes through, the obstacles, the everything.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Are you married?
No.
No. All right. You are still in the market. That's good. Okay. Do you have kids?
No.
Oh, you never drop engine. It's all right. Oh, you are good to go. So for those who are watching, if you want to apply through Mampolo's Corner. Yeah. But my fee is expensive every time. That's the problem I've got. All right, back to the interview. Okay. Now, we've got some issue of cultural identity. We've got some issue of cultural identity everywhere with migrant children. And what I mean by, from my own aspect of saying cultural identity, what I mean is, migrant children who came from other background, or their parents came from other background like Africa, and now they were born here or they were brought into Western world while they were young, right? How do you guys see your cultural identity? Are you people confused? Which one are they? So can you just explain a little bit of cultural identity from your own perspective, based or bred in America?
Okay. For a start, I would say cultural identity it refers to identification with or a sense of belonging into a particular category of culture, which could include nationality,
Mm.
race, ethnicity,
Mm.
gender, and equally religion. But however, how does this cultural identity plays as a first generational Nigerian American? I can speak for myself and some of my counterparts. Um, I would just say because we have not, through no fault of our own, matched to any of the cultures that we were either born with or raised with, because these are two different cultures that we're being exposed to and not fully imagine or identifying to neither nor play some form of a double-edged sword, which, if not properly utilized, it could be to an advantage. And people from this side doesn't accept that we're fully from there. People from this side are not accepting that we're fully from there. So we just basically in the middle of both culture.
Jesus. That is much confusion, isn't it?
What it is, because I know our parents did have good intention of us being born here or being raised here, but that's just reality. What we are born into and what we are being raised into are two different, and it just.
So how does this cultural identity affect, because I want to go straight to that point, the migrant children? How does it affect? Does it stop you from anything? Does it deprive you of any benefit?
Depending. That's why I say that it's a double-edged sword. If it's used properly, you will be in advantage. But if you don't know how to use it properly, it goes to disadvantage.
Okay, how can you use it to be, because I like advantage as you see me so. How can you use it to be at an advantage? That's the one I want to hear first.
Being able to know how to switch from one culture to another culture and still remain in the middle of the culture, in the sense when
Continue.
you got, yeah, it is like, okay, when I'm with my American people, my American side comes out. When I'm with my African people, my African side comes out. I'll be like, I beg you now, we be this, so I beg you. I got this sound,
Even even you are pidgin. Hello?
yeah.
Yeah, I clearly know that from your name, nobody will need to dispute that you are from Igbo land. Okay. So, what part of the Igbo land are you from?
I'm from Enugu State. Go Enugu State.
Enugu. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of your people always follow me here. Okay. Yeah, lots of people always. So now you are from Enugu State. How much do you integrate with your cultural values? Because now I'm speaking to you as an Igbo woman. You are speaking for now. I'm from America and I'm from this place. And you're speaking for now. You're speaking America for me. And you said that you can switch and could switch. Now you could switch it. Now I'm talking like an Igbo man to you. And you are speaking like So how this cultural identity, how are you blending it in America when you see a black man there, or when you see somebody from Enugu, or when you see somebody from Nigeria?
I agree them. I agree them. I kind of somehow already know the drill and the expectations, which one of them is to speak your native dialect to them. Um, they love respect, you know. So you just give them what they want and just keep going, you know.
And have your peace.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, that's all right. Now, let's go to the questions properly now.
Okay.
How does exclusion, isolation, and traumatization play a role? Do you think because of this cultural identity differential, you guys are in a country where you, like you said, you don't know where to go in terms of culture. You people are like confused.
We're
Now
not.
it's confusion.
No,
So
it's not.
so how does this thing cause a sort of like traumatization to the children who were born there or raised when they were young? Does it cause something like being isolated because
Yes.
probably they are not welcome on this side? So they are not welcome on this side. They want to stay on their own, or does it cause them to be like, are they excluded in any form? Either the African culture they originally came from, we are like, no, like as you are talking to me, like you speak for now. So no, this one they speak for now, may carry itself, they go. You understand? And now you come to the other side of America, they say, oh, this one came from Africa. Even you are for now doesn't blend well, you know. Or does it make you guys like obviously a separate, not belonging to any identity? Do you understand my question? It comes to that confusion.
Well, again, it depends on how you want to utilize your opportunity or your obstacles. Um, Wherever people go and see obstacle, when I go there, I see opportunity. But to answer your questions, exclusion leads to isolation, and isolation leads to traumatization in most cases. So, with just a layman term, when this immigrant kids like me, when our parents um, bring us to Western world, I will use America because yeah, I grew up here. So when they brought us here, by us going to school, exposing ourselves to other cultures and other individuals and our environment and everything, as time goes on, it reshapes us from our original self away from what our parents is, our perceptions, our behavioral, everything doesn't quite mirror the ideology of what the core value of our folks and family has and still uphold to. And that if parents do not understand that, it brings some kind of exclusion and isolation and detachment and rejection because now people, if you don't have the same value with me, if we're not seeing the same thing, likelihood of people pushing you aside is there. So that's where this isolation, exclusion comes in because family, um, they don't really understand that we have been exposed to two words, and that kind of circles down to whole thing. And on top of that, um, I have heard so many people they say to me, you no longer our people. We have dashed you to Americans and collected the change back, and, which is okay. So such comments and a lot of other things that our biological people do kind of makes it hard for us to be on the same because we don't see what's the same. Our mind has been shaped different from theirs. You see,
what shift your mind?
education, exposure, environment, hanging out with other people, as time goes on, it reshapes your mind, your being, and every aspect of you. It's not going to be 100%, just like your parents are, you know, and that becomes a problem. And now your own people doesn't really see you as their own, and the people, the culture that you have matched into are not seeing you fully as theirs because you have not fully imaged to any of these cultures.
So what will you call your people now?
Human beings. I have heard people say,
So
we are.
are we correct now to say you people are culturally conflicted set of people?
No, it just people always said we are caught in between two web. Some people use the term caught in between two cultures. Some people say caught in between two worlds. But at the same time, I feel like we are the higher advanced first generationals because when it comes to the job market and mainstream market, um, they're not coming for the original hard cause. They're coming for the first generation that blend in both cultures, and that is where the advantage of being exposed to both cultures comes into play. So I don't like to see it as disadvantage. I enjoy to see it as advantage if I utilize it properly.
I hope you are not giving yourself consolation. I don't want to be sure. I don't want to be sure that you are not giving yourself consolation. Okay.
It's not isolation though. It's just a
I definitely know that it's a difficult thing, to mix it. You were grown in a different culture, studying a different culture, you know, and back home is with your parents, it's another different culture you are. So some sort of confusion always come there is difficult. I totally agree with you. Okay.
and
All right.
parents doesn't understand that
Yeah.
it pushes their kids away.
Yeah. So now, does this cultural differences or this cultural conflict or this cultural diversity or this cultural identity, does it in any way cause hate, cause peer pressure, cause any form of crime on migrant children? Or does it still
I
push them or not the other way around to crime? Does it cause crime to them? Does it cause hate to them? Does it cause peer pressure to them? And the other way around, does it push them to do all those things as well? Do you understand the question? It's on both sides.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Again, that comes with when this set of kids are not utilizing the opportunity of being exposed to culture and to world. Yes, it causes hate, peer pressure, and crime. Again, if not properly handled. Just to dive deeper into it, it's obvious that this set of people are not fully accepted in neither of the cultures because they have not fully embodied any of these cultures fully. And because of that, a hunger to belong, to be seen, to be heard, to be understood come are not mindful that this is just what it is. They pushes their kids, which in return builds a hate and resentment towards the kids, to their parents or to their family. And as a result of this, they say if you don't raise your kids, street is gonna raise your kids for you. So, because they're not getting the understanding, and because also our African culture, majority of them, they believe that kids and women are to be seen but not heard. And with some of the bad parental style method, again, it pushes kids away and build hate. And before you know it, because they want to be accepted, they want to belong, they follow peer pressure to do what they do, which in return leads them into the path of either greatness or into the path of crime. So now you see they're all linked together: the crime, the peer pressure, and the hate. So it's a very in-depth stuff that people don't really understand, but it is.
So who is hating who here?
It could be both parties.
Explain.
The family are having resentments on the kids because their view have changed from what they say. I know sometimes they say, this is not our culture, but not minding that you expose that kid to a different culture. And when people are not in the same boat, if they don't understand that it's still okay not to be in the same boat and still coexist, hatred comes from either the family or the child. And before you know it, they start seeking for something else outside. And this happens a lot with migrant kids.
So apart from the family, what about the societal hate? Is there any hate from the other culture? Because you are not in between cultures. We've talked about your family, which is original culture. What about the culture of the, like for example in America where you are, how does hate comes to play here? Because of cultural difference.
Okay, because at least from my experience, I'm not gonna like play whatever, trying to be perfect. I have, so some of the majority of the Americans, once they see my name, I'm using myself, I don't know about anybody else. Once they see my name, they automatically believe that I'm an African, okay? And they started treating me a certain way. And I flat out tell them the only thing African about me is my name. Other than that, nothing else is African about me. So don't get it mixed up. But with time goes on, they will understand it. I said, yeah, she Americanized. I said,
It's all right. Are you struggling to be American?
No, it's not.
Why do you have to explain that to them?
Because that is where this cultural identity, acceptance, belonging, trying to not to be put into the same box that they have put in our fathers, mothers, relatives that grew up in Africa and came to America. So trying to educate them that, listen, some African kids that were born here or raised here is different from our parents, because they believe that we don't talk back, because our parents doesn't talk back, but we talk back. That's the difference. But once they hear that, they're trying to put everybody in the same box, but we're not. So just to remind them, we are not.
I don't think it's not. I don't think it's all the African parents that came that doesn't talk back.
I know you talk back.
I talk back more than you. You can't mess with me anywhere in the world. You see, because as long as I'm in that country, I know the law in that country. You're not going to mess up. And you expect me to quiet? It's not going to happen. All right. So we cannot generalize that most of the African parents don't talk back. Most of them talk back. Most of them that doesn't talk, most of them that do not talk back, maybe majority of them are not quite exposed or quite educated. I can tell you that, right? So they feel now because maybe where they are working, they can't get any other job, any other days. You're not limited. Where small child is telling you, sit down. Can you clean this one for me, please? Can you do that one for me, please? Are you normal? We they send that message. So if it's not normal what that child is doing, that anybody is doing, I'll tell you, bro, I'm not going to take that. So some of the African parents as well, they talk back. But I know where you are coming from. Unlike people who were born here, raised here, more African parents who came from home, especially those who have crossed the age of 25 before they came here, tends to accept most of the nonsense in the society, right? I totally agree with you. But there are exceptions to that, okay? There are exceptions to that. There are some of that came from home said that their head is more hotter than when they're born there, all right? So, but let's leave that. You are very right. Now, how does this cultural identity, how does it attract crime? How does crime come to play? How does it bring crime? How is crime involved in this?
Okay, it's more like, how am I gonna say it? When these kids are out in the society and they're having a hunger to belong, to be accepted, and they are willing to do anything with their peers in order to belong in whatever culture they're trying to fully immerse in. And majority of the time, they engage in deviant behavior, which constitutes crime. And statistically, the rate of African kids in prison is becoming a little bit increased by the day. Okay? And again, it could not be nothing other than somewhat people trying to fit in completely, people trying to be accepted, to be understood, and it's just a hunger to belong.
Mm. So do you mean some people can go up to an extent doing crime just to belong or to fit in?
Absolutely. For example, people urging to fit in can lead to a lot of stuff. It can lead to associating in gangs, activities, joining a gang just for brotherhood, for sisterhood, for a father figure. People join these gangs for a different reason and motives. And before you know it, it's leading them into the stream of trying to prove something. And when you try to prove something, 9 out of 10 of the time, if it's not the right thing, it ends up in the wrong path.
It backfires.
So that's where the crime sets in.
All right, I think that's quite understood. Now, there's what we call cultural abandonment,
Okay.
and there's what we call cultural resentment, right? Resentment.
Okay.
So that means abandonment is the oga patapata of them all. Is the highest peak of it. The resentment is like the younger brother to abandonment. You understand my language?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Nigeria. If you don't understand, that's your problem. Even I speak my language broken to Igbo here. If you don't understand, I'll tell you that's your problem. Go and figure it out. Because I need to sell my own culture as well. I'm first a Nigerian before being a British. So I'm not like you people that are now totally American all through. I can never be. In fact, I cannot talk too much. I'm first African man. You hear me? So if I speak to you with this same accent, I can code switch. If you see me talking to, like, if I want to actually do that, code switch perfectly. And maybe if you're on phone with me, you will be asking who was talking. I can easily do that. But me, I go speak with that thick accent to Oyibo. If you don't understand, it's a problem. Because I can't be struggling to hear you, then I'm struggling to speak to you. You know, if I struggle to hear you, you need to struggle to hear me too. So I know that was why I was a bit angry when you were saying you are trying to fit into like I don't try to fit into anybody. I am myself. I'm telling the simple truth, and I'm using the opportunity to give an advice to most of you who were born here or who were brought here when you were young. Baba, don't struggle to fit in. Be yourself. When God wants to locate you, He will locate you. In that foreign land where you are, you will employ even people you are trying to impress. You employ them. Don't fit in. Because you cannot be struggling to do things. How long will you struggle to impress people?
That's true.
Listen, if you are yourself and you are excelling, those people you see like they are superior, they will come to you to look for job. And they will be the one trying to fit in. I don't want to renew mindset. This is your interview. You need to carry your cross anyway.
But that's the thing. But just to piggyback on what you said, that is where parents plays a role, because I know my dad. I was raised here with my dad. I love him so much. So yeah, that's where you install that sense of belonging into, rather than want to keep up with the Jones mindset. Keeping up with the Jones will only lead you where Jones is if Jones is not going to the right direction.
All right. All right. So now we're talking about cultural resentment and we're talking about cultural abandonment.
Yeah.
Does this cultural identity in any way leads to cultural resentment / abandonment? Explain. Tell us.
I have seen it happen so many times that I couldn't even count. Again, parents, they don't quite really understand. But just to answer your question, 99.9% of humans goes towards what they identify the most than what they identify the least. And because of that, this migrant children being exposed to two different world and culture, and 9 out of 10, they are embodying more of the culture they're being raised in, rather than the one they were being born into. And
it's all right. Hold on there first. Hold on. So okay. You, as Enugu Bay.
What? Why does it gotta be me?
It has to be you now. We must have a case study here. You were not born in America, were you?
No, I was raised in America. I'm a first generational Nigerian American.
How old were you when you came to America?
I was young. My brain is still young. That's just the least that I could say. But
okay. Now.
Yeah.
You were raised in America. Now, which culture have you resented or abandoned? And which one have you imbibed? Which one have you adopted? I want to know.
Why do you think gotta be me?
Yeah, what I like practical. I like if you always follow me on my political now. So I'm a practical person. So which one have you abandoned or resented, and which one have you adopted to survive in America? I want people to learn.
Okay. You are putting me on a high horse, to be honest.
It's all right. Continue. You are doing well. You have been doing well.
And I'm a very honest person. And I know this is online, and I know people are watching. Again, I love the family. I love my dad. I love him so much. He taught me a lot. Um, he raised me, which I love him. I respect him. However, um, I know this is online. It's emotional, but with my experience, my rejections, from the culture that I was born into. I picked the culture that I was raised into. The pain, the disappointment, the misunderstanding, the ridiculeness from the family, from the African, Nigerian, Igbo community. Sometimes they tell me that I'm not one of them. Sometimes they tell me that Ibakata. Sometimes they call me all kind of a thing. They judge me, but the culture that I embody, they welcomed me with open arms. Um, they're not judgmental. They love me, and I feel much more accepted there. And that is where my allegiance and loyalty lies, so that's just it. But does it mean that I dislike Africans, Nigerians, Igbos? No, it just with what I have been through, went through, I picked a side, and it's not the side of people that I was born into. It is the one that I was raised into.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a very good one. So, from the degree of your cultural identity effect, can you say now, at this degree, that you have resented or abandoned the African culture? Which one have you done? Resented or abandoned?
All I know is normal human being um, doesn't want to be in a place where they're going to be judged, where they're going to be misunderstood or unaccepted. They want to be in a place that they will be accepted and understood and seen and heard. And the culture that I have embodied, that I grew up in, don't just see me, they hear me, they're not judgmental, they understand. And that's very important.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you. It doesn't still answer my question. It doesn't still answer my question. Thank you very much. I understand that it doesn't answer my question. My question is, from the degree of the effect cultural identity have exhibited in you or have shown to you or have done to you, can you say you have now resented or abandoned your African culture?
what she said.
So
But what I
I don't know the answer. You have not said the answer.
but what I'm just gonna say is I'm a first generational Nigerian American.
Hmm. So you didn't answer. You didn't answer it now.
And the only thing African about me is my name.
Okay. So we will say you've abandoned African culture.
I never said that. I'm just saying.
You say the only thing that is African is your name. So the culture is not in you.
I never said that.
That's what you said now. You said the only thing African in you is your name. Did you say it?
Yep, the only thing African about me is my name. Do
So,
I still possess some elements of an African or an or Nigerian? Let me not lower it down to Nigeria because Nigeria is the country. Yeah. Um, again, it's just what it is. Life goes on. I'm pretty sure that all the people they might not speak up because of fear of being judged, especially online. which is
No,
actually
Mama Poloskara,
very
you always say
special.
the you always say the truth because I will ask you a question, you must say the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, I kudos my dad for raising me very, very well. I appreciate everything. I love him. It's just what it is. I
So
couldn't
with the
decide.
degree of only your name is only African value in your life, at that degree,
No.
what will you call it? Will you say you've now resented African culture or abandoned it? That's what I want to know. Is that resentment? I want to learn from you. Or abandonment? Which one is it?
Resentment comes, abandonment comes, but in a general terms, some kids that was born here or raised here um, could resent them because of the
Okay,
experience
I can see you are going
they
around. You don't want to answer that question straight. It's okay. Now, can you marry an African man who migrates from Africa, maybe meet you in America? Can you marry him?
Actually, it was part of the stuff that I even wanted to say because this set of individuals,
That's
um,
we.
no, no,
Continue.
no, no. When I say individuals, the migrant kids, because they have been exposed to two cultures, um, likelihood of them marrying the same people with the same mindset as them is higher. Likelihood of them marrying outside the culture that they were born into is higher. Likelihood of them marrying in the culture, sorry, in the culture that they were raised into is higher. The culture that they were born into is low.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
so
trying to
now
say.
I bring the question to you because you are one of these person we are talking about, whether I like you or
What?
not. So now the question is, if there is an African migrant, specifically from Nigeria, an Igbo man that came now in America, and say, oh, I met this girl, I want to marry her, Chinyere. Will you marry that man?
Do you have any idea that this is a online, like everything?
I don't care whether I'm online. My political corner is open like photo. If you know you won't say the truth, don't come here.
Well, depending, because if this migrant kid or migrant person is the same as me,
No, it cannot be the same as you. You was not born and raised in America. How can it be the same like you as you? It's not possible.
okay, but just in a general term, see, this is a mistake that people do make. In all seriousness, people jump into marriage because of societal expectation of a time frame and not understanding, am I compatible with this person? Do I share the same or similar view with this person? And other factors. And deep down inside me, just to answer your question, and just like every other reasonable person could do, knowing fully well that me personally, I don't quite fully identify to either or. Um, it is much more reasonable that I settle with somebody that is either all the way to the side that I was raised into or in between like us. Somebody in between cannot go and marry somebody in the other spectrum because that's why some marriages fail. That's why people are miserable in their marriage because they're not thinking about all these factors.
You know, I
So just want
can
to
I
answer
can
somebody
disagree with
else.
you that there are lots of ladies like you who actually want to marry men from back home with core value of culture, right? Simply because they know that it will help them to draw them closer to their culture and help them to rebuild their culture. You see. So when they marry such men, that cultural value they are lacking in intimacy begins to come back. For that man will begin. There are men you're going to marry, and They know you are different. They understand it. Because you are not married yet. I've been married for years. Marriage is all about understanding. So I am in a better position to teach you about marriage full time. I have a successful one so far. All right. So now, if you have an understanding one right from that Africa, because why I'm trying to debunk most of it, and lots of people are watching us, people who are in your bracket are still watching us, okay? So that it will not affect them, yeah? So you might have a good one there, right? They know you are bred up in America. They are going to use time to like match and blend the cultures, all right? And it's going to help you. That inability for you to stand gidigba with that culture you were born in, right? He will help you to bring that out easily. You will be enjoying it because if even an African core black man who was born, raised up to almost 30 years in Africa can come to America, come to UK, marry a white sister, and they live very well. And you see most of the white sisters blending, playing Afro beat, cooking egusi and abono. What are you telling me? And they will tell you, there are lots of them that come online to tell you that they prefer this African culture than their own. Boldly.
It happens, but in reality, remember when we were talking about exclusion, isolation, and traumatization. This like you were saying, this European full-body people, they have been in their own culture and they have had the taste of it. Then they're testing something else. You understand what I'm trying to say? But those that were being born or raised here, again, if parents or family do not take care, they will end up displaying and treating this individual in a way that will create traumatization and resentment of where they were born into rather than where they are being raised into. I'm not saying that a white person doesn't marry Nigerian African person. All I'm saying is the way I hope parents are looking, they're watching. Again, my father did a great job raising me, and I'm proud of that. But I'm saying for those that their kids are in anywhere in Western country and they're not trying to model their kids to understand and traumatizing their kids because their kids have a different mindset or behavior from them.
You keep saying that your father. You keep saying that your father have done a great job in you. Yeah, but you are telling me only the cultural African cultural value in you is just your name. So which great job are you talking about?
No, I'm not saying the only.
Because I'm confused. So you are confusing me. Because you've said this thing like more than 4 times that your father have done a great job in you, and your mother have done a great job in you. You have adopted another foreign culture more than your Nigerian culture. How did your father and your mother have done a great job in you?
Okay. Again, environmental factors structure people. There are some things parents do have control over, and there's some things parents do not have control over. But above all, I beat my chest to say that my father had done a great job raising me to be a woman that I am today. Irrespective of what.
Are you talking about education and all that? Because we are talking about cultural values.
Oh, yeah, I'm just talking about in general.
No. Let us not generalize it. I can categorically tell you that your father have done great in your education. And do you see me disputing it? No. He has done great bringing you to America. Great. Your safety up to this point, you get an adult. Great. Feeding you, until you are a human being. Great. But don't forget we are dealing with cultural value. So do you think your father have done great in inculcating African, specifically Nigerian cultural value in you?
Well, again, I would say when you raise a child one way, when they grow up, they pick their path. He did what he can, but I picked my path. If that's just it, you know.
Now you come. Now you come.
And when I say African, or the only Nigerian about me is my name, I'm not just saying just a single name. The truth must be told, I still embody some of our attributes, because being raised into culture, you embody both of the cultures. But I'm just, when I refer to that, it's more of when I'm trying to explain to people or trying to take advantage of just seeing my name to draw conclusion of me. I'm like, I'm the wrong kind of set, you know. So that's where that at the age of the only African in me is my name, but that doesn't, in a literally terms, say that, but just to mark.
Thank you.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand. Yeah, I need to force you to say something better. So it's all right. So well, what you were saying was going the other way in my ear. It's all right. Now, we are about to round up at this point. I am going to ask you, do you have any advice to parents who are currently raising their younger ones in the Western world, or who gave birth to children here, on how to raise them up? Do you have any advice, do you think?
To be honest, in as much as I'm not a parent yet, which I know one day I will be, but the reality is I do not have to be a pilot in order to know that a pilot landed on the sea rather than on the ground. So without further ado, yes, most or few of the hardcore Nigerian, they kind of use the same mindset, which is okay. They use the same forcefulness to try to raise their kids in European country, forgetting that the environment is different. I would just say, just be mindful that this environment, the same thing that you will be trying to push your kids away from, you will accidentally push them into that without even knowing it. And also, build your kids up to know that it is okay to be their own person rather than try to keep up with the Jones, because that could lead to peer pressure and that could lead to other things. And try to accept them and understand that they are being raised into cultures which will influence them positively and negatively depending on what side the kid choose to go in life. But I'm pretty sure they appreciate the opportunity you all have given to them, bringing them or about to bring them, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Good advice. But you should still understand. Let me embrace you from a parent perspective. You should still understand that if you want to inculcate some African values, all right, to an African child, you must adopt a little bit of African style, okay? Because we are Africans, you know? So what we are not allowed to do is to either hit, punish, or whatever. There are other means of giving your child punishment. You cannot just leave your child.
No.
If you want, yeah, they will spoil, they will be destroyed in this Western world. If you watch the likes is her iPhone, tablet. If you have done something wrong, look for that thing that is too dear. If it's iPhone, that iPhone will be seized for 1 week. Or tablet, that's your punishment. No beating, no abuse. Right? And that pains them even more than the normal eating and give them they value that. If he's the one that love what do you people call it, McDonald's so much, and Nando, no McDonald's for 2 weeks in this house. You will see that they will not even do that thing that cost them that McDonald's. So there are many ways to kill a rat without being abusive physically. All right. So, but if you are telling us to leave them all through, it's not going to work. Even the white parents or the Western parents have a way of discipline, because the Bible says it said train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. If you leave them wayward like that, in the end, you will receive the shame, because they will bring the shame definitely to you. All right? They will bring the shame to you. You must guide them diligently. Okay? And most times, most of the guidance we give, most of this discipline we give, we don't hate you. There's no good parent that will hate the son or the daughter. It's not possible. So you understand that most of the so-called African lifestyle they are bringing is for them to stand to their feet to say, no, this route you are going is not going to help you in life. Because there are some certain ways that they are more experienced than you, and they have made mistakes in those areas. Don't go that way. That's what they are trying to tell you. Yes, they could be more firmer than others, in Western world, but if you watch it, it works more. Watch lots of African people that came from home in America. See if they are not very richer than those that they gave birth there. Check.
That's not true. That's not true.
I am telling you true, because in UK here, I can tell you this is true. Why? African people who have been in Africa, children, and they develop up to 25 years, they have suffered shege. They know what suffer, the definition of sufferness. All these my children I gave birth here, they don't know anything suffer. They don't know. They don't even know what is called correct son. Beating you in the farm. They don't know that. They don't know how to use my children have not seen cutlass since they were born. Cutlass, machete, they don't know it. They don't even know goat, real life goat and real life fowl. They don't know those things. They have not been eating and flies are perching and they are eating with flies. So if my daughter mistakenly see flies, I say, hey, you will begin to run. Bee. I say, which bee? Come on there. These are your neighbors in Africa. They do not suffer. They have not been to public schools where you need to trek for some kilometers to go to school under the sun and come back under the rain. Then after that, you go to farm. Then you need to still pass your exam. But they are here before they come back to the tablet. Before they come back, they are watching TV. They didn't suffer. If they continue like that all through, they don't know element of sufferness. They think life is easy. And people who have known this suffer and change this culture and then they are now in a better place, they harness the opportunity stronger. You don't know.
I still think it's more like a matter of a personal opinion and perceptions, which I understand.
It's not true.
But,
another thing I still need to tell you is that people who are born here, raised here, they don't have much of savings culture. I'm telling you most of these things. It's true. Most of their savings culture is to save and go to holiday in Spain. Enjoy themselves. But the one that have suffered a lot know the value of money more. They will keep it. They will say no because of tomorrow. Their father have taught them, the culture have taught them, the sufferness in Africa have taught them. Yeah, nothing teaches you anything tough.
To be honest, I think it's a matter of perceptions and opinions, which again I do respect it. But again, we are all entitled to our opinions and perception, but that doesn't make it 100% true.
It's all right. All right. That is the end of this program. It's now 1 hour. All right. Thank you very much, Chinyere Udeh, uh, the CEO of, let me see your name of your company again. The CEO of All Matters Writers. All right. Thanks for being on Mampolo's Corner. I think this is the second time you've been on Mampolo's Corner, right?
Yeah.
I know you're a long-standing follower. And for those who do not know Chinyere Udeh, when I went to America, they were the one that they took care of me very well. You know, they were, are you okay there? Are you okay? I didn't go to the States. What state are you?
Maryland.
She's in Maryland. I went to Texas, you see. But even from there, she was sending me lots of things, just for me to keep on going. I hope you are feeling well. I hope you are feeling okay. With others in America, American people are so nice, and they take care of people. I don't want to go anytime soon, because when I came back, I was very big, and I started gymming. I have to go back to gymming. They were giving me too much food, and instead of now, I'm supposed to be appreciating the effort. Now, I don't think I want to go again, because American people, they eat too much. Everything in America is big, big, big. Road big, cars big, house big, food big, everything big. So I said, no, let me go to my UK, that we are conservative. We do things in a moderate mode. So before American people will spoil me. So it took me about 3 days to fit into UK life again. Not because you be that. So that's just it.
And also, before I go, which I appreciate you and I appreciate your people for having me. Again, just in case if they're wondering and they want to publish with us, everything about us is All Matters Writers. We publish books, we brand and market authors, and at the same time we ghostwrite, we edit, we do all the 9 yards of book services. Put your book into the right people.
So it's All Matters Writers, okay? If you want to contact her, is there any way they can contact you?
All Matters Writers, that's just it.
All Matters Writers.
Everywhere.
I would have loved to put that on screen. Is it on the flyer you gave to me?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring that flyer up. I don't think. Let me see if I can bring that flyer up. If people can. Well, I think I published the flyer already.
Yeah.
So, but Chinyere Udeh is a publisher. So, in case you want to publish anything with her, just on Facebook, on all her handles, All Matters Writers. Yeah. So she will do the job for you. If you're able to, I wish I can get their name now and just fix it there. That would have been okay. Okay, I think what I'll do, let me just try to see if I can write it on, at least to add it on. All Matters Writers. So it's spelled ALL Matters AMRTER.
THA semicolon S.
Is it MARTHA? Yeah.
Semicolon S.
Okay. All Matters.
Writers.
Yeah. So. And the writers is spelled
just like writing.
Okay, it's WRITERS, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can bring it out to screen for those who have not seen that properly, so that they can easily search you, okay?
Okay, sure, not a problem. Appreciate it.
So, what do you need a little bit? So, guys, do not try to follow her. She will do a good job at all time. Okay. I have seen her publications. She's a very good She's a very good one. So I'm not afraid saying it. Go out. I don't bring people who want to know they make sense for my man Polo's corner. I don't get that time. Because if you are not making sense with your job or what you do, I struggle to bring you. Okay? So I am putting that boldly on top. Okay? So I didn't even make it small. I want it to be very big so that you know what I'm talking about. All mothers riders. So I want you people to check her out as well on every social media handle. What social media handle are you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the social platforms, including my books are in Amazon and equally in Almost e-commerce website. We do ship to UK, US, Canada, and I believe South Africa. That is our limitation for now for our e-commerce website.
Perfect. So, guys, you can see on the screen there, search for her on everywhere she has said. All right. And if you want to do a publication, just contact her. She's good. She's good. She will use that American accent to write your attend. Everything is okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Udeh. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you. And I believe my fans appreciate your coming. I don't know if there's any, but we are out of time, so I don't think we can answer any question. We don't want it to be too long. All right.
Okay.
If there's any question, you need to check on my comment section. All right. And I replied them. You follow me already, so it's fine. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. All right. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Bye.